We're not talking about the Union. We're talking about the United States of America. But that's a problem. But you know what? Who contributes to the Union? Who pays for the Union? The Union, the members, right?
The members.
And the Union is only looking out for the members.
Right, Charlie, we're gonna have to.
They're looking out for the members. I got one more point, and I'll be done. The Congress should be looking out for all Americans, not just the members of the party. For the people, by the people. Which people? The people that's a part of a party? What is the Indie Voters Movement? The Independent Voters Movement is a growing movement for American electoral reform. This movement consists of Americans from all creeds, colors, and political beliefs. Indie voters may believe in a different set of values, but they share one common belief. That belief is America's government is ineffective at addressing the problems of the day. Independents believe this ineffectiveness is a result of an unfair voting system that prioritizes the needs of the political parties over the American people. Round two. You ready? You ready? Ready to duke it out? No, we don't want to tell you how to run your political. I mean, hell, we should tell you how to run your party. Why should you be running yourself? We pay you. You how is it that the taxpayers? How is it that the taxpayers fund the Democrat and Republican parties, and both of those parties are not accountable to the American people that pay them? How does that work? That if I click your hand, does that allow you to speak, or how does that work?
I just had to unmute myself, and yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
So my question is, with this ranked choice voting, does that mean each party has their own ranked choice little, the candidates? So
No. There's just one ballot with all the candidates on the ballot. There's just an open. It's just open season.
So then which ones would get picked then to run in the general election?
All right, so you would.
Two or the top three, or?
So basically, you would rank your candidates. It's almost. Do you watch basketball at all?
No.
Okay, I don't either, so I really can't use that analogy too well. But I thought maybe if you did, you could understand. What is it called? March Madness, the top four, whatever it is. But basically,
I know the brackets. Yeah.
Yeah, the brackets. That's basically what it is. It's similar to that. So you go in there and you rank your top 5 candidates, right? And then after the first election, they tally up all the votes. If not one candidate gets 50% or more of the vote, they have an instant runoff. And in that instant runoff, still, if no candidate gets 50% or more of the vote, the candidate with the least amount of votes gets knocked off. And so now instead of 5 candidates, you have 4 candidates. And that just keeps going. Basically, that keeps going until one candidate gets 50% or more of the vote. You can choose your candidates. We just get to choose who goes to office or not. That's all I'm saying. We're not telling you who to put on the ballot. We're just telling you that you guys should not have a stronghold over who gets on the ballot and over who gets elected. It's almost like you have to pay for representation. You have to pay. And that's pay. That sounds like pay to play to me.
I was wondering what brought you personally to this activism in the 10 years ago.
Well, I come from a very politically involved family. My grandfather was he was very much so involved in city politics back in his age. He passed away about 5 years ago, bless his heart. He was he was my biggest role model. And so I've always sort of been involved, whether it was like collecting signatures, with my mom when I was younger, or, just out there with like a picket sign, fighting for what I thought I believed in, And so I mainly worked for like a lot of Democratic organizations, but since I was a kid, I just always knew it was a bunch of BS. I don't know why I knew that, but I just knew. I was like, this doesn't make. I was like, this shit. Excuse my language. I was like, this shit don't make no sense to me. I remember being like 7 years old in history class saying that to myself in the head, and so I was just very discontent with working with Democrats, and I think at that time I was working with the Obama campaign down in Florida for his re-election campaign. And then after that, I was just like, you know what? I'm just doing all this. I don't see anything coming out of it. I was like, well, if I'm going to, you know, volunteer my time for something, I'm going to volunteer for something that like is actually worth a damn, that like actually has a meaning. And so that's when I just started looking up independent voters, and that's how I stumbled across independentvoting.org. And like, I don't know what it was, but like I participated in a couple of online events they had. They liked what I had to say, and they gave me resources to empower me, you know, to just amplify my voice. And they have those sorts of resources for anyone who wants to get more involved. And there was never really a push, you know, for that sort of personal or professional development from, you know, any of the party campaigns that I worked for. I can't speak on behalf of a Republican campaign. I never worked for a Republican campaign, but I'm pretty sure it's the same thing over there. It's just, hey, look, we need you here to work on this, and that's why you're here. And if you get in, or you know someone there, you can get a paid position later on or do something, we got you. If not, you're just here to volunteer. When the election's over, go kick rocks. You know, so yeah. I think that we need to make it fairer to have little money get involved in politics. There's no reason why elections and campaigns should cost as much as they cost. Billions of dollars, and you're getting on air, you're getting on national TV, and they're talking about this manufacturing consent. You know, mainstream media is nothing but propaganda. So like they always have these quote unquote experts. What experts? These experts are funded by someone that wants them to propagate. You guys have rigged the rules in your favor against the American people. Not you guys, but the parties. You've rigged the rules. Why is it that here in Illinois, an independent candidate or a third-party candidate has to get nearly 3 times as many signatures to be on the ballot than a candidate that belongs to one of the 2 major parties? Why is that at one point or the other? As far as me personally, I don't want more parties. I want no parties, honestly. I just want to get rid of them altogether. You know, I think that, you know, our founding fathers nearly 400 years ago, if my math is correct, they warned us about this situation. This is the very situation they ran from in England. You know, there was a civil war going on between the 2 major political factions, and they came over here to America to establish a true democracy. Now, obviously, they fell short, but you know, those founding documents are our moral compass to get us in the right direction. So I think they said, you know, that the parties will usurp the power of the people. That was said 400 years ago. And here we are today in that very situation that they warned us about. And ultimately, it's the fault of the people. You know, we deserve the government we have because we have been less involved. You know, I'm big on history, and I used to read that people used to go to bars and talk politics. That's like one of the taboos nowadays. You'll never hear anyone talking politics in a bar. So I think that, you know, we need to bring that culture back where, you know, people are discussing politics in a civil manner and just saying that, hey, look, just because you disagree with me doesn't mean I have to hate you. Just because you disagree with me maybe I disagree with you because I don't fully understand. Maybe I disagree with you because I disagree with you. But that's okay.